Now that Fairy Tail's back with the anime adaptation of Fairy Tail 100-Year Quest, where we get to follow the members of Team Natsu on their journeys and their battles against the dragon gods, there might be some of you guys who are looking for a quick refresher on the various characters, their powers, and their abilities, which is why in the newest Fairy Tail video over here on Anime Explained, we're going to be taking a look at Lucy Heartfilia, in particular, all of her transformations she can undergo by using celestial spirit magic known as Star Dress, and explain why each of these dresses is way more dangerous than you might have ever imagined and are quickly making Lucy into a valuable asset to the Fairy Tail Guild. As always, this video will contain some spoilers, but like usual, I'll keep it limited to what you only need to know in order to grasp a good understanding of each Star Dress, and I won't disclose any major information that will greatly impact your viewing experience if you're an anime-only viewer of Fairy Tail. Finally, we'll only be going over Lucy's Star Dresses and none of the other mages. If you guys are interested in seeing the others, I can make that video if I see there's enough interest in it. So what exactly is the Star Dress spell, and how exactly does it differ from, say, Urzur's weak crypt magic, if it even differs at all? Well, the Star Dress spell is a celestial spirit magic spell which lets the user channel the power of a particular celestial spirit they are in possession of by placing the key of the spirit into the center of their chest. The concept in of itself, it isn't anything new, very similar to the trope of pretty girl transformation that series like Sailor Moon made extremely popular, which may or may not have been a form of inspiration given how similar the transformation of the Sailor Scouts is when they use their keys when transforming, when you compare it to what you see with Lucy. When this is done, the power of the celestial spirit, it wraps itself around the body in the form of a dress, which that is where it is very similar to Recrypt magic that we see the mighty Urza Scarlet use, and the appearance is similar in style to the celestial spirit in question. This transformation doesn't give brand new clothes just for show, but it also grants them power of the celestial spirit, which you can see how someone like Lucy, that's a major upgrade for her in combat, because as we've seen, her celestial spirits, they aren't just pretty strong, but some of them have downright hacks abilities. However, it should be worth noting, this form, it isn't just for the celestial powers itself, but it's also the power of the wizard as well, which in this case would be Lucy, which in turn gives the huge benefit because the spells that she and another wizard would need massive amounts of magic to use, they can now use due to the addition that you get with the dress. As we see later on, the power of the Star Dress spell, it isn't just limited to one dress at a time. Lucy is able to use Star Dress Mix, which as the name implies, allows her to mix the power of the dresses together. When this is done, there are cross keys that appear as symbols on the back of her hand, which are meant to represent the particular celestial spirit gate keys of the spirit that she's drawing on power from. This merger, as you would expect, comes with a fair share of benefits, which we'll obviously get to when we talk about said dresses. So now that we've got the basics out of the way in terms of what the Star Dress spell is and how it allows for Lucy's transformations, let's go over each dress in particular, explaining the power of each, how some of them look, and other bits of lore that you will need to leave this video with a proper understanding of how each dress works. First up, we have Lucy's Aquarius transformation dress. This one is one that you'll be familiar with if you read or watched Fairy Tail's anime. As the name implies, the dress takes on the appearance very similar to Aquarius, where Lucy's wearing a bikini and dark sleeves and a mini skirt. When she uses the dress, she gains the power of water magic and earth magic. The water magic obviously allows her to funnel Aquarius's magic into her body, which she can use actively, regardless as if it's consciously or unconsciously with the dress when it's being worn. Spells that Lucy can use include Water Barrier, that we see her use in the Taurus arc, which makes that giant barrier of water that offers extreme protection for Lucy from very powerful attacks, and as long as the barrier is held up, it's pretty durable. She can also use Aquametria, which allows her to choose between water magic and earth magic for attacks, whichever is best suited for a situation. The way in which this is performed is the user will make the earth around them soft depending on the situation. The way in which this is performed, the user will make the earth around them soft and it will swell up to attack their enemy with like it's water, and the user charges the magic on their hand hand to make the flow much like waves in order to unleash it as a focus blast onto their target. When using earth magic for this, the way that Lucy is controlling the earth for the attacks, it makes everything move like it's running water itself, making it highly impressive. Now we move on to the Taurus transformation via the Taurus dress. When wearing this, we see Lucy wearing a cow pattern bra and sleeves with gloves and boots, giving off a more feminine vibe of the appearance of her celestial spirit of the same name. Lucy also gains a weapon in the form of a whip, which when combined with her insane increase in power, while in this form, Lucy is now able to be a pretty capable brawler, able to fight from a distance using the whip or getting up close and personal if the situation calls for it. Like we see with the Lucy punch and the Lucy kick. With the former, the Lucy punch is, as you would expect, Lucy is dishing out high-powered punches that unleash a huge volley of power as a result. The latter, the Lucy kick, hits home even harder because she's jumping into the air and forward, and the combination of the momentum and the star dress using the power of her celestial spirit makes for something that hurts a whole hell of a lot more than usual. When she uses earth wave, she can use her whip to take down multiple enemies at once by swinging it around to strike the ground, cracking it so deeply that it inflicts damage on the enemies in front of her or wherever she's aiming the whip, which obviously due to the enhanced strength of the attack that's coming via the dress itself. Next up, we have the star dress Leo transformation, which sees Lucy in that seductive black and gold dress and the choker around her neck, and Leo's gate key summon is on her breast. When she uses this form, she gains access to Leo's power, so spells like Regulus are at her disposal, allowing for her to engage in melee combat. She can send magic to parts of her body, wrapping them in a golden cloak to amp up her attacks to dish out even more damage. Due to the huge boost in the physical attack strength, we see Lucy use spells such as Regulus Impact, which allows for her to wrap the light around her hand and send out a golden lion head of light at her enemy. She has the Regulus version of her Lucy kick, which wraps the light around her foot and allows her to dish out insane amounts of power. Her next dress is the transformation that comes via the star dress Virgo, which gives her the appearance of Virgo, though the dress is noticeably shorter. And in Fairy Tail 100-Year Quest, we see that she even has a swimsuit version of this transformation. While in this transformation, she can use earth magic. The earth magic is the power that we see her gain via Virgo that allows her to tunnel through the earth or use spells like the Spick a Hole to trap her enemy in the ground. She can also use the Lucy punch version of it to dive into the ground and position herself underneath the target directly, and it allows for a pretty nasty punch when she pops up from underneath the ground to land a monster punch on her target. This of course leads us to the first star dress mix that we'll cover in this video, which is the star dress mix of Leo and Virgo, one of my personal favorite designs, and hopefully it's gonna be one of yours too, depending on where season 1 of Fairy Tail 100-Year Quest is by the time you guys have seen this video. So for this transformation, Lucy has a combination of Leo and Virgo's dresses, but she gets the addition of wings that are behind her and additional jewelry. While wearing this dress, Lucy is obviously very powerful and more dangerous than before because she can pick and choose which spells she wants to use from the two celestial spirits. And while she's in this form, we see that she can perform Lion Maiden, which allows her to use both Regulus and earth magic. After raising her arms and crossing them, she utters an incantation and forms magic around her fist. When she lowers both arms via the magic, it vanishes and she spreads them out to her sides with both hands open, palms facing her target, which then makes these insane pillars of light attack her enemy and do massive damage to the area. Her star dress transformation Scorpio is the star dress mix that uses Scorpio's power. While in this one, Lucy gets a super skin tight outfit and her back is exposed, and she has the ability to use sand magic while in this transformation, which allows her to use things such as sand flight, where she's able to blend in with the sandstorm and fly around freely at super insane crazy speeds, which allows for multiple attacks to be landed on her target. Depending on who her target is, they won't have time to react. This is, in my opinion, one of the cooler powers that she gets because of the different ways in which it can be used for offensive purposes. This of course leads me to the Aquarius and Scorpio transformation mix, which is the star dress mix of both celestial spirits, which you'll see in Fairy Tail 100-Year Quest. This of course allows for her to use both water and sand magic. She also gets the tail cannon, which is attached to her belt, which makes for an even bigger threat from Lucy in terms of her combat capability. She's got that bulky armor around her limbs and the scorpion tail and armor around her legs. While in this form, she can use Aqua Storm, which which blends a mix of water and sand, which unleashes a monster amount of power to damage her enemy. Her Aries transformation is the star dress of the celestial spirit Aries, which gets those adorable ram horns on the side of her head, and she's got that pink top and the black and pink legging. This of course allows her to use wool magic that belongs to Aries. This lets her trap her targets in wool and fully able to take advantage of the fluffy nature because it prevents her enemies from using magic that requires incantation. This magic can also be used as a diversion, allowing for the user to distract their target by trapping them in wool, the last thing anyone would expect to use in a fight, and it can be used in any environment, and it can also be used as a support magic by serving as an airbag to buffer the impact one might get from the high fall. When Lucy uses this for combat purposes, you'll likely see her in the anime use the wool shield, which, as the name implies, makes a shield of wool in order to block her enemy's attacks. Now, her Cancer transformation is the star dress of the celestial spirit Cancer. This is one that uses magic in a way where Lucy in combat is a huge asset in close quarters combat. She gains a pair of blades, which is a nice change, given that when we see Cancer in the main fairy tale series, he's got a pair of scissors while he does fight in combat. This is a nice change of pace since Lucy having swords comes in more handy than having scissors. This form allows her to move at high speeds, and her twin swords are used in a way where she can hold her own in combat against powerful and experienced swordsmen in battle, making good use of Lucy's extremely amped up speed while in this form. Her Capricorn form is the Stardust transformation spell that uses the power of Capricorn, which is easily one of Lucy's best designs, especially given the black and purple colors and the two long braided bands for her hair and the combo of the white boots and the black sleeves. Hiro Mashima was absolutely in his bag for this one. The main benefit of this dress is that it can give the user super hack shades that negate the effects of eye magic, which comes in handy depending on who it is that she's fighting, as we see in Fairy Tale Dragon Cry the movie. Lucy's Gemini transformation is the star dress that she uses that has the celestial spirit Gemini. With this one, Lucy gets a two-tone skirt and a plated belt on her waist. While in this form, Lucy is able to use the spell Copy, which can be pretty pesky in terms of an ability to deal with when you're fighting Lucy. In short, Copy lets the user transform into someone or directly mimic the magic of her target. Where it differs from transformation magic is that the user gains the knowledge of the person they transform into. The amount of knowledge that the user can tap into is limited to the knowledge of the counterpart is aware of, though, and the time limit is 5 minutes when using this. The user can only retain the capability to transform up to 2 people, and any more additional transformations require them to erase the use of the older transform form. They can also transform themselves into their target while just being near them and without touching them, but this restrains the appearance of the clone to the appearance that it had the last time they had contact. Lucy's star dress Sagittarius transformation is the star dress spell that makes use out of the celestial spirit of the same name. When Lucy is in this form, she takes on the green outfit and gets a set of bow and arrows and gains insane archery skills that come with the bow that lets her fire off back-to-back attacks at her enemy and target from a distance, and she can summon energy arrows to attack her targets. As we see with her star shot spell, Lucy shoots her arrows at her target and explosions they tend to follow. This of course brings us to the Gemini and Aquarius star dress mix, which is a transformation that mixes the two forms together. This one does lean a little heavy into the fan service side in terms of the design, with the bikini top and the thigh-high stocking on one of the legs and the various jewelry, but the color patterns here are pretty amazing. This of course allows for her to not only get the power boost while wearing the dress, but also both water and copy magic while using this dress. While fighting, Lucy can make a water clone spell, which makes a surge of water around herself and her target, which makes the clones that can be used on herself or from memories, which can distract her enemy and outright attack them. While that's gonna be it for all the various dresses that Lucy has, as this recording, we don't have any new dresses that have been named or any new star dress mixes. Obviously, by the end of the series, if that changes, we'll update the video later on. But in the meantime, be on the lookout for the re-equip magic version of this video for Urza. Click here on the left for more fairy tale content if you enjoy the series, and click here on the right for more anime explained content.